Shakur Stevenson in his 135 debut. I'm getting all kind of texts. Shout out to my boy LV. I'm gonna tell you right now, I was very impressed with what I seen with Shakur Stevenson. And Shakur Stevenson had a mean streak too. And I mean, he beat Yoshino down. I mean, it was a destruction. And I know the referee called a halt to the fight, but Yoshino was on the way to getting hurt really bad, catching brain damage. Because, I mean, he was getting hit with every type of punch that you could think of. And he was getting bothered by jabs. But Shakur Stevenson was very impressive. And for people that seen this fight, I know eventually somebody gonna come on here making excuses trying to dismiss what Shakur Stevenson did, but that's what pound for pound fighters do. And I'm gonna tell you right now, 135 is a dream division. Depending on what happens with Tank, Ryan Garcia, Devin Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson, these guys got to fight each other. They're all going to have to come see each other, whether it's at 140, whether it's at 135. These guys going to have to fight each other. And at the end of the day, can't be no excuses anymore about, oh, well, this got to happen, that got to happen. We're not going for this anymore. As fans, we going to demand the best fights get. Something with Tank that's kind of me that I'll talk about later on. Is Tank focused going into this fight? I hope he is. And shout out to my boy. Shout out to Miggs. Shout out to Kobe. He covering the fight. He out in Jersey covering the fight on my behalf. I couldn't make it. I had some stuff I had to take care of around here. But I will more than likely be in New York for Tiafimo versus Josh Taylor, which that's going to be a barn burner of a fight. But if you're not impressed with Shakur Stevenson's performance, you just either a hater or you ignorant. He is a solidified pound for pound fighter. He proved it. And that's just real talk. And for what I seen tonight, if Shakur Stevenson can take Tank shots, he has an exceptional chance of beating Tank. These Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney, 50-50 fight. Shakur Stevenson versus Tank is a 50-50 fight. And this is why we got to get these fights made. We don't want no more politics standing in the way of the best fights getting made. Look how long it's taken to get Spence versus Crawford. We don't need to wait 5 years for these fights to get made. They need to get made within the next year and a half. The time is now. We're tired of hearing excuses. The fans are frustrated because we want these type of fights. And I don't want to hear anybody hollering about Shakur Stevenson ran. He stood right in front of Yoshino all night and traded with him. And he won the trade contest. He won that fight every step of the way, but that's just excuses what they make. Now you see why Isaac Cruz, but I thought Isaac Cruz want to fight guys like that. At the end of the day, Isaac Cruz, he just didn't want no smoke with Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson would beat Isaac Cruz down. And that's what usually happens when the other side of the street get lined up with those, with the other fighters. And I got to say something. And Cruz gonna get dogged by Shakur Stevenson. Shakur would dog Cruz. When I say he would be target practice, Cruz is target practice for Shakur Stevenson. I mean, he would pick, when I say Shakur would pick Cruz apart, and then this version of Shakur that stood right in front of Yoshino and traded with him, oh yeah, he beating Cruz down. And that's what makes him so dangerous. Ring IQ. Smart. Picks his shots. Fluent. He know how to break you down. He looks for angles. He looks for openings. That's what makes him a dangerous fighter. Yeah, Damien, we know Cruz didn't want no smoke. Because at the end of the day, you know what they say about fighters like Shakur Stevenson. Oh, they run. Well, Shakur wasn't running in this fight. So what's the excuse now? What's the excuse now? What's the excuse now? We don't want to hear no more of this other side of the street, this network stuff. Like I said, fights can get made. Fights can get made. Nobody want to see no more of these in-house fights anymore. We want to see the best fighting the best. This is what I've always been about when I cover boxing. This is all I've ever been about when I go to these fights. I just want to see the best fighting the best. I don't care if I get credentialed or not. Like I said, the PBC, they don't like me. They don't mess with me, because they want me to jump through their hoops, and I'm not going to do it. Yeah, Timmy, this side of the street stuff, it's old. We don't want to hear that no more. No more excuses, Timmy. We want the best fights made. They could find a way. If they could do a joint pay-per-view with Tank and Ryan Garcia with DAZN and Showtime, the PBC and ESPN can find a way to make it happen. We don't want to see these fights marinating 3, 4, 5 years when both of these fighters are a little bit past their prime, or they reached their peak and they got long in the tooth. Because at the end of the day, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence is a fight that should have got made 2-3 years ago. Shakur Stevenson is 25. Tank is 28. Devin is 24. Ryan Garcia is 24. Cruz is relatively young. It's time to start making these fights. Let's see who is the best out of all these guys. And like I said before, Shakur, the boy is the truth. After that performance, what can I say? And it was an impressive card all the way around. Keyshawn Davis is a force to be reckoned with. I like what I saw on Keyshawn Davis. Jared Anderson is getting better every fight. So I'm liking the future. If we can get these fights made, the fans are in for a treat. At the end of the day, they're going to be winners, they're going to be losers. Does it really matter if a fighter loses a fight? As long as he know he lost to the best, that's all we care about. Muhammad Ali, he lost fights. Some people consider him the greatest of all time. Me, myself, that's debatable. All of the greats, for the most part, lost fights. Muhammad Ali lost fights. Mike Tyson lost fights. Roy Jones Jr. lost fights. Roberto Duran lost fights. Oscar De La Hoya lost fights. Julio Cesar Chavez lost fight. Canelo then lost fights. All these guys, and I'm not saying that these dudes is the best of the best, but I'm saying these guys got to start getting in the ring and giving fans the fights that they want. These promoters got to stop being protectors. Promoters are supposed to promote and stop trying to play guardian angel. If you believe your fighter can beat the best out there, make the best fights. Give the fans bang for their buck. And that's just real talk. We are tired of hearing these excuses. We don't want no more excuses, because like I said, this thing is grown tired with. Stop the cap. Okay? We don't want to hear that anymore. We don't believe you. We need more people. You need more people. We need people. Make these fights. Look, at the end of the day, Shakur Stevenson got drawing power. Shakur, did you see how many people was in attendance? I don't know what the official attendance is, but I'll find out later. I'll get the text. But Yeah. Shakur and Tank is a sellable fight. They could have that fight. That fight can go to Atlanta. That's a fight that'll go to Atlanta and it will sell. Shakur versus Tank in Atlanta later on this year, that's a very sellable fight. That's a fight you can bring to Atlanta and that'll be standing room only. You could bring that to Atlanta. You can go to Vegas. You can go to Brooklyn. You can go to Madison Square Garden. Shakur Stevenson got drawing power. And he on the East Coast. You don't think the people from the New Jersey tri-state area wouldn't jump on a flight and head down to Atlanta to watch him face Tank? Two black fighters in their prime. Atlanta will be rocking that week. Atlanta will be rocking. That's a fight. That's a fight that the ATL deserve. Oh, what's up, Aubrey? Tell me that I'm lying. Tell me that Atlanta wouldn't be rocking if you got Tank versus Shakur Stevenson. Oh, I know that. Yeah, my boy Aubrey staying. Yeah, I know you staying at ATL. Well, that's a fight. It don't really matter where. It doesn't matter where it's at. But I think Atlanta would be a more suitable place for Tank versus, Shakur Stevenson, because Atlanta is a black town. Both of the fighters are black, and it'll be rocking. Both of them from you could just imagine going into the fight, the parties. Hey, I've been to Atlanta. I was in Atlanta a couple of years ago when I saw Shakur fight Jamel Herring. It's like a club almost on every corner in Atlanta. I was at the Sheraton. I guess the Sheraton it's like a 10-minute walk from the State Farm Arena. It was not one, not two, it was like 4 clubs within walking distance of each other. It's a club right across the street from the Sheraton where I was staying at. I'll walk right across the street to the club and walk right back to my hotel room. Oh, it'll be lit. And that's another thing. Shakur have a celebrity following just like Tank Davis, so why not? That's a fight that needs to happen. But anyway, you guys, I'll be back later on. We definitely gonna get into it.